have a little bit of a lag here.
Got an ad. I pulled it up. That's alright. Is this monetized?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Is this monetized?
So
It's live.
You have to mute that one.
It is.
Yeah, it's live right now.
Mute that one. It is.
Yeah, it's live. It's live. Yeah, it's live right now.
That's
Does
the
that
TV.
come through on the TV?
Yeah.
Hang on, mute that sucker.
I thought you did, right?
I do too. There we go.
But why isn't it showing up?
I don't know why it's not showing up there.
Go out of it and go back into it.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh.
And you can't see the comments like that.
No, I can't see the comments like that. All right. All right. Well, hey, friends and neighbors. This is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. Sunday evening live stream. We're going to try to do this maybe a couple times a month. Just have a little bit of a live Q&A opportunity for folks to jump on and ask some questions, and just for us to kind of talk to y'all a little bit. Let me see if I can figure out a way to make sure I can see the comments here. We didn't freeze, did we? No, okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm playing over here.
Oh, no, that's fine. Newest first. There we go. Okay. So, somebody drop me a comment real quick. Can you hear us? Can you see us okay? Let me know that the sound's coming through. All that kind of thing like it should be.
I got a yes from Xavier.
You got a yes? I'm not seeing anything over here.
I got a yes from Xavier full. I
Thank
got a
you,
yes
Xavier.
from Todd.
All right.
And Tillman said yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm not seeing them. Why ain't I seeing comments?
You got to turn it on. I turned it on TV. Those seem pretty.
Okay,
they're-
yeah.
they're
There you go.
Pretty up to date with
I
what's
got
on
a-
my laptop.
Okay, Richard, yeah. I don't mean to just look to the right here, but that's where I see stuff. That kind of stinks.
Let me
Okay,
see.
loud and clear. Give us just a minute here and let us get the. Yeah, Bill, we're old like you, man. We gotta figure this deal out. So.
I don't know.
Just try closing it and going back into
Yeah,
it.
close and go back in. I want to get it here on there.
I close the whole app. Swipe up and just launch it.
Yeah, exactly, Shadow B. We'll let the professional handle it there.
Easy now.
Pull her back up. So yeah, all right. So give us just a minute. We'll get this figured out. But hope everybody had a good holiday season. Merry Christmas, whatever particular holiday that you celebrate over winter, and then a Happy New Year. Been kind of a there we go. See, she fixed it. Look at her go. She's smart. That's why I married her. So again, we hope everybody had a good Christmas and Happy New Year. I was able to get Sonder to agree to be on the live stream with me tonight, and we've got Buck. He decided he would join us as well, so we appreciate everybody jumping in. You want to tell them about your busted lip? How's your lip?
Oh, it's fine.
The lip's fine.
I've just got a small cut inside my mouth.
Just a small cut inside your mouth.
Yeah.
And it was a piglet. It wasn't. It wasn't me. So, Sandra says that she's going to learn to edit some videos so that she can change that stuff around and not let me cover that up. But appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We're going to do just a live Q&A. So if you guys have got any questions, drop those in the comments down below. Lots going on here at the farm. I recorded some footage today for 2 different videos. We got Big Mama artificially inseminated today. Still waiting on that red gilt down at the down with the gilt group to come in, and she is just not. She's just not coming in. So we're gonna keep an eye on her. And then we done a ton of work on the garden today. If y'all can believe it or not, it's unbelievable. But we were kind of talking the other day. It's only about 6 weeks before we start some of our seed starts in the greenhouse and in here in the house. So we're gonna working on getting the garden ready and doing some stuff there. So Tom Ellington down in Tater Road, Berkshires. Hello from Concord. Hey man, you're just down the road from us, just a little ways. Not too far. How long does it take to get to Concord?
About an hour.
About an hour. Yeah, about an hour to Concord. Bill Lancaster, how long can you store pig sperm? So Shipley says that we can store it for that it's good for about 7 days, and then that one of those black gilts down there that we had tried to do AI on, we used some older sperm on her. I think it was, how old was that?
About 8 or 9
It
days.
was about 8 or 9 days old, and she didn't settle. So I think 7's probably the magic number there. So 7 days is plenty long enough.
But then you're supposed to shake it every day.
Yeah, you do need
Make
to
sure.
shake. You do need to shake it, or at least invert it a couple times during the day to keep the preservative mixed in pretty well. And then also you got to store it between 61 and 64 degrees. We've got a wine refrigerator in our dining room that we keep it in, so that works out pretty good. Paul Lar, hey from Ireland. Hey, good. Thank you for joining us. That's cool. That you join
What
us
time
from that
is it
far.
in Ireland?
Yeah, what time is it in Ireland? Paul, let us know what time it is over there. It's got to be, gosh,
12 o'clock, 1 o'clock?
12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So, hello from Troy, North Carolina. Hey, Jason, appreciate you joining us. Just down the road there in let's see, Troy. What county is Troy? Is that Rockingham County?
I don't know.
I don't remember what county it is. Paul, it says it's
No,
1206.
it's Montgomery County.
Montgomery County, that's right, Montgomery County. Derek Jackson, hey from Bahama, North Carolina. Appreciate you joining us. Perfect wine and pig sperm don't make a drinking mistake. No, don't worry. No danger there. Did you by chance buy the pastured poultry packet 1 and 2 from John Siskovich? Have not bought those. We did buy the plans for the chicken tractors, and we use those. We love those. Those things have just been awesome. We've used them for just our pastured poultry out on pasture. We've used them for turkeys. We've used them as a pig brooder for some small piglets that we bought one time, and then we also use them. We're using them right now for some juvenile chickens that we've got out here on the garden. So, have not bought John's pastured poultry packet. We did buy the plans, and we love the plans. They work good. John says he hopes it's not next to the wine. No, we don't keep that close. That's not a fine white. So yeah, Jason, we were right in Montgomery County. O. Taylor from the People's Republic of Maryland. Appreciate you joining us from Maryland. Rosie Side Farm is on the Eastern Shore. Appreciate you joining us as well. So if you've got some questions on what's going on, drop those questions in the chat below. We'll try to answer those. David is here with us tonight. We're going to get him on camera here in a few minutes. I don't think we've ever formally and officially introduced David. We did just a little bit last time. David rents our upstairs bedroom in exchange for working here on the farm. So he has been just a godsend to us. Has given Sandra and I a lot of freedom to be able to be away from the farm from time to time for some things that we need to be away from the farm, because David picks up chores in the morning or afternoon, whatever the case may be, and so that works out really good. Like I said, he had a relationship that didn't work out, so he found himself homeless, as I did a couple times in my first with my first marriage, but that's okay. That's how it goes. Yeah, Richard. John will send you a free ticket. So John Siskovich, who done the plans for the chicken tractors that we have, is doing a giveaway right now. If you send him some pictures of your chicken tractors using his design, a link to your website, and a little bit of I think he's asking for like a little bit of a bio, kind of what got you into farming. He'll do a drawing and will pay for your ticket to the virtual APP, American Pasture Poultry Producers Association conference that's going to be happening here later on in the year. So check out John's video on that. Brian Jones, how many pigs do we have right now? How much land do we run on? We are at 35 pigs right now. We own 20 acres, and then we lease an additional 12. So we're on 32 acres right now with those 35 pigs. We do have a pretty good chunk of land that's on the backside of a creek that dissects the property that we've not been utilizing. There's probably we probably have about 4 acres back there.
About 5.
And then on the lease, there's probably another.
There's another, well, we don't have that part of the lease secured yet, so.
On the backside of the creek.
Yeah.
But so
There's
yeah,
another, 7 or 8.
on the backside of the
Yeah.
creek. Yeah. So we're on about 32 acres. Are you working on your own pig breed, or do we have a favorite? So we're working on a little bit of a cross. We're not trying to develop a specific breed. We like a cross between the Duroc and the Berkshire, and so that's what we're mixing right now. The Duroc and the Berkshire. We just like the conformation, the rate at which those pigs grow, the quality of the meat. We just think that that's a much better pig, and that works really well. Hello from Southeast Ohio, Emerald Hills Farms. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Hey from Seven Stands Farm. Our buddy,
Hey, Jamie.
our buddy Jamie and Sarah Miles over there. Jamie went with us to Warsham Springs Farms over in Virginia a couple of weeks ago. We bought a trailer load of pigs, and he took 4 of those piglets home. So look for that video. Check out his channel, Seven Stands Farm, on YouTube. He's got a brand new channel up and going. Also, Chris Tillman is here, Tillman Family Farms. If you're joining us right now and you've got a YouTube channel, drop it in the comments down below, and we'll give you a shout out here real quick. Do you like cut your wire? Yes, Jamie, I will cut my wire. I don't like to cut my wire, but I do cut my wire. That's just the way it goes. Chris is asking, tell us about your first year in business, moving into spring. What should we expect? What should a first year farm expect?
Oh, my.
You want to talk about that?
Our first animals came to the farm on Valentine's Day, February of 2018, which was 50 Red Ranger chickens. And 3 days later, we got 6 pigs on the farm. And talk about jumping in head first and not knowing what you were doing. We got those 6 pigs, didn't know what we were doing at all. The gentleman that sold them to us knew that we didn't know what we were doing. And he told Chuck that as soon as they picked up one of those pigs to put it in our truck, then it belonged to us. And if it got out between their trailer and our truck, that they would find it and get it back, but it was ours. So
we were paying for it whether we took it home or not.
Yeah, we were paying for it whether we took it home or not. So our first year, especially through the winter, was a lot of mud, like it is right now. It's the muddy season. So it really depends on how quickly you want to jump in. Like Chuck has said before, the only way you're going to get started is to get started. So you can read all the books you want, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but our advice is jump in head first and see how it goes.
Yeah, you just got to do it. First year was kind of tough for us, just in terms of, I think our expectations really didn't meet reality. You know, we thought we would go to a farmer's market and people would just beat a path to our door to buy. We started out primarily with chicken, so we thought people were going to beat a path to our door to buy chicken, and that was not at all true.
We couldn't sell a chicken.
We couldn't sell a chicken. I mean, people, you know, and that was a function of a couple different things. Number one, people didn't know us. You got to build that trust, and we started out with honey and eggs. We had honey and we had eggs. And those are easy commitments to make. You know, a jar of honey or a $5 dozen of eggs, those are super easy commitments to make. But when you're asking somebody to spend, you know, 20 or 25 bucks with you on a chicken, that's a different commitment. It's, you know, kind of like asking a girl out for a date versus asking her to marry you. It's a much bigger commitment. So you got to start your advertising. And I talked about this in the last video that I done. start your advertising, start your marketing now. Before you ever got your first animal, your first product to sell, get people interested in your story, get people interested in your farm, what you're doing, build a base of fans, and then you just got to roll with it. And then learn from your mistakes. Like I said, like she was saying on chicken, we couldn't sell chicken. Well, all we were taking were whole birds. And I don't know if y'all are aware of it or not, but nobody knows what to do with a whole chicken anymore. A lot of people don't even know chickens have bones,
Yeah.
for Pete's sake.
A lot of people think that chicken comes naturally boneless and skinless.
Yeah. So that first, that first batch of chickens, they were all whole birds because that's just what we were going to do. Then we decided we needed to do some cut ups, so we started doing cut ups, and then that started selling a little bit better. People started getting a little more interested in it, and so you've got to kind of meet people where they are, provide the product that they're looking for. Ask questions. If somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm looking for some chicken," they don't want to buy a whole bird. What are you interested in? Well, I'd be interested in a pack of breast. Okay, then that kind of points you in the direction of maybe something that you need to think about. You can't chase every silver ring that somebody comes at you with. Somebody's come up saying, "Hey, have you got any ground chicken?" Well, I'm not going to start cutting chicken off the bone and grinding chicken up. But now ground turkey's a different story. We've done a lot of ground turkey. We've done a lot of turkey parts and that kind of thing. So first year, you just got to get your name out there, get your advertising out, start building a customer base, start building a base of fans, and get people interested in your farm. I'll tell you, year 2 versus year 1, we doubled our sales.
Yes.
Was that right? Year 1 to year 2, we doubled our sales. Year 2 to year 3, which is what we just have finished, we more than doubled our sales. So we have at least doubled every year. So, and it's like a snowball effect. Once you get it rolling, once you get it going, people get interested, and you gain momentum, and it really makes a huge difference in your farm and in your business. Osborne Family Farms, is that the Jamie and Sarah Miles that teach at North Wilkes? Yes,
Sure is.
it sure is. That's the Jamie and Sarah Miles that teach at North Wilkes. Bill Lancaster, my family became friends with a dairy farmer in Dover, Pennsylvania. He's allowed my daughter to help with his fall festival, and now she's interested in learning more. That's great. You just can't get your kids interested enough in agriculture, knowing where their food comes from. There's a lot of life lessons that come with farming. So, kids are made for farms. Farms are made for kids. I'm a firm believer in that this is the best lifestyle, the best way to raise your children. Tillman Family Farms, we are neck deep in it already. Yeah, I bet you guys are neck deep in it, man. I've been watching some of your videos. You guys got a whole lot going on. Hello from Hoyt, New Brunswick, Canada. Hey, Hoyt, appreciate you joining us. Mark Parker, $5 super chat. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Love the videos. Thanks for the experiences. Can't wait to start my own farm next year. Man, good luck to you. Keep reaching out to us. I've read some of your emails, and I think we've conversed a little bit back and forth. So appreciate that. Keep us posted on how things are going. Glad we were able to have that conversation the other night and kind of talk about your pig operation and where you're heading with that. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate that support. Osborne Family Farm, she was your English teacher. Yeah, we love Sarah. I think she was teacher of the year.
She was this
at
year,
North Wilkes
yeah.
this year. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. John Smith, what advice would you give to someone considering raising pigs for the first time? What's one thing you would tell them you need? No compromises.
A training pen.
A training pen. Yeah. If you're going to raise pigs on pasture, the first thing you got to do is train those pigs onto electric and train them right. Set you up a hard structure using some pig panels or something that those pigs can't get through. Put your training wire inside of that and get those pigs trained on that electric so that they learn electric. I'm going to say this may be a little controversial for some folks, so don't beat me up too bad for saying it. Stay away from designer breed pigs. Coonies, Mangalistas, Idaho pasture pigs. Get a good crossbred farm raised pig. Something that's going to do well on pasture. Stay away from some of these excess hothouse pigs, the ones that are being raised in these Smithfield houses. They have to be propped up with antibiotics. They've got to be inside. I know some folks that have bought those and have had good luck with them. I know folks that have bought those and have lost their shirt on them. So get you just a good farm-raised pig that comes from some proven pastured genetics.
The more spots, the better.
Yeah, the more spots, the more color. Typically,
Yeah.
the better. That's exactly right. But pigs are great animals. I mean, pigs are fantastic animals. We've had just a lot of fun raising them. They're profitable for us, and then it's a pretty daggone tasty product too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, do y'all cut up your chicken yourselves, or you do that at a processor? We do that ourselves. We do have an exemption from the North Carolina Department of Ag. We can process up to, is it 10,000 birds?
1,000.
We can process up to 1,000 birds on our farm. It would be real easy to go to the next level and do up to 10,000. We've just 20,000. We've just not done that because we're not raising that many. But yes, we do our own cut ups. Peacock, we're taking our first 5 hogs to the butcher tomorrow. Thanks for the videos. Be like Chuck, hashtag be like Chuck and Sandra. What's your best selling cuts? Best selling cuts on pork?
Whole tenderloins, pork chops.
Thick cut pork chops.
Yeah, 1.5 inch thick.
1.5 inch thick. Yeah.
Those are the best. And then baby backs and full packer spare ribs. Our processor gives you the option of doing a spare rib or a St. Louis rib. We've found that people like the spare rib better. They can trim it how they want to. And we also instruct our processor to not fold those ribs over when they're getting ready to package them. When we first did our first set of pigs, our processor folded those ribs over so it just looked like a small pack of ribs. So now, with every processing of pigs, I write in the instructions, do not fold over the ribs. And so we get a full spare rib that's about this long and about that wide. And it makes a great impression when you pull one of those out of the cooler and show it to a customer.
Yeah, and bacon. Somebody said something about bacon. Excuse me. Bacon is always a good seller. And we have our bacon done thick cut, and that's another thing is somebody comes up and says, can I see a pack of bacon, pack of spare ribs, a pork chop, and you flip that cooler open and you lay that out there for them to see. I mean, I love seeing the look on people's faces, their eyes get big. Oh, wow. And they can't resist. So those are some of our best selling cuts. Bill Lancaster, now I now buy all my beef from him. We as locals need to support our local farmers. Absolutely. You know, this whole pandemic thing, particularly early on, I think has really shined a light on how fragile this industrialized food system is. There's a lot of forgiveness built into the local food system. So support your local farmers, because whenever those packing houses, those big processors are shutting down, the local guys can still help you get some meat, whether it's chicken. They possibly can even help show you how to process your own animals, whether it's a cow or a pig or whatever the case may be. So yeah, support those local farmers. We really do appreciate it. Corey Green, I'll be getting my first pigs in spring. Good for you. That's exciting. You're going to love pigs. Pigs are they're fantastic animals. We've really enjoyed raising them. How long does it take to train pigs on electric? I don't know. They typically figure it out in about a day, don't they?
About 24 hours.
About 24 hours they figure it out. We will typically leave ours in a training pen for a little longer than that. I think that's for
a couple of weeks.
I think that's for our
I think
own.
we're training ourselves.
We're training
more than
ourselves
we're
to trust
training
them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean pigs. They're very smart. They pick it up quick.
And even if one does get out, and they will when they're small, if one does get out, they won't go far from the pack. You know, they're not gonna run off. They'll be laying right beside the wire, trying to figure out how to get back in.
Yeah. So
yesterday.
Yeah. So we went down yesterday morning, and one of our gilts had gotten out of the gilt paddock, and pigs will tend to berm up roots and sticks and leaves and all that kind of stuff right up against the fence. They had burned enough up to where they had covered the fence and grounded it out. She had gotten out, and I had the game camera down there. She'd been out for a couple of hours, but she didn't leave the group. She stayed right near where the feeder and the water were. So
She's just waiting on somebody to raise that fence so she can get
yeah,
back
she's waiting
in.
on somebody to raise the fence so she could get back in. Bill says, by the way, have a question or suggestion. Why don't you have an opening in the fence when you relocate so your wife doesn't take another hoof in the mouth? So the reason is that paddock, that training pen, we've got all those pig panels that are set, and then the box, we captured those pigs in that box. The problem there was we waited too long to pull those piglets off.
Yeah.
We typically will wean piglets. Typically, you'll wean piglets at about 8 weeks. Our piglets are quite a bit bigger than some of those that we've bought at 8 weeks. So we probably should have pulled those piglets off a week or two earlier. They would have been a little smaller, much easier to handle. So we are at fault for
I'm
that.
blaming on Dave because he wasn't here to help.
Yeah. Leon, how many pigs per acre?
That depends on size.
It depends on size, depends on your property. There is a rule of thumb. I think I'd have to look and see. I will find the answer to that and I will get back to you. There is a rule of thumb on how many pigs per acre. We're not close to it. We've not even got close to that yet. Tina G, really enjoy your experiences you share. Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. Chris down at Tillman Family Farms, they can't cut up chicken in Georgia. Man, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Cut ups are where it's at. That was another thing. When we were trying to sell whole birds and you would try to tell people how to cut up a chicken, they were kind of repulsed by the idea of.
Yeah, I have one customer who won't buy a whole bird or a half bird because she says it reminds her too much of a real animal. She has to have either the breast or the leg quarter.
Yeah.
She won't buy anything
Yep.
else. But we tried whole birds 2 or 3 different times our first season. And we had probably 60 or 80 whole birds in a regular residential freezer. And he was ready to quit because we couldn't move chicken. And I told him, I said, we had our last batch of chickens on the pasture, and I said, let's try cutting them up. And this will be our last gasp. If this doesn't work, we'll just stop raising chickens. And we did 30 birds. So we had 30 breast packs, 30 leg thigh quarter packs, and 4 or 5 packs of wings. And we couldn't keep them.
Started selling like hotcakes.
We could not keep them. So if you can do it, cut ups is really where it's at on chicken.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference. Richard Benfield, I think you may have said before, if you don't mind me asking, where you get your chicken and pig feed, how'd you find them? So we get our pig feed from Julian Milling, down in Julian, North Carolina, which Eric's 15 minutes from here?
Yeah.
About 15 minutes from here. I done a video where we visited the mill and kind of showed the process of how they create our feed. And then they're also a dealer for Bartlett feeds. That's the chicken feed. And we've bought Bartlett feed at a couple of different places. We buy it from Eric now. He's a dealer for them. And it's just convenient to go down there. We'll get chicken feed and hog feed all at the same time. So that ends up working out really good. I found him on, actually, my neighbor over here, Gary, said, mentioned them one time, said they were kind of famous for some chicken scratch that they made. I think they call it funky chicken. Funky chicken, yeah. So went down there, saw those guys, told them what we needed, and then that's worked out really good. They've been just a godsend to us. I mean, Eric's fantastic about helping us out. Eric Scammell, if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. Getting pigs in the spring for the first time. I'm up in Canada. Any advice for raising pigs in the cold? Oh man, I don't know. I mean, we don't get real cold here. Make sure they've got shelter. Make sure they can get in out of the wind, and make sure you've got a dry place for them to go to. So I'd recommend, just some kind of small 3-sided lean-to. Put you some bales of hay in there, and those pigs, they should be fine. We find that pigs typically thrive in the colder weather as opposed to the hotter weather.
They do much better here in the wintertime than they do
Yeah.
in the summer, because when it gets upwards of 90 degrees here, they hardly move. They won't even eat. They lay around, and I'll go fill one of their wallows with some water, and they get excited about that. But that's about it in the summertime. They don't do much.
Peaceful Acre Farms, we really enjoyed learning from y'all. Just bought a farm in Central Missouri, about to dive in head first. Good luck to y'all. Hope you do well. You're gonna love the lifestyle. Farming is a great way to go, and just being able to grow your own food and know where it comes from, and not that stuff that you get at the grocery store. Huge benefit there. Miguel, thank y'all for the invaluable information. Thank you for watching, man. Really appreciate you tuning in and joining us. Dylan, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I'll butcher that up. Love watching the channel. How long you been a farmer? Were your parents farmers? So we bought this farm in June of 2017. Like Sandra said, we got our first animals Valentine's Day of 2018. So we've been at this not quite 3 years. No, our parents weren't farmers. Growing up, my parents and grandparents did. We always had a big garden. We grew some burley tobacco, but we never had any animals.
My grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side, before I was ever around, they were farmers. They were self-sustaining farmers for a little while. But by the time I was around, all they had was a garden. There weren't any chickens. They did keep some cows that my uncle kept on their land, but that was it.
So
and my dad and my mom are they have a reaction to any kind of farm work.
So yeah, we're essentially first generation farmers. It skipped a generation or two for us. John Smith, we can't do cut-ups in Vermont either. Exemption only covers whole birds. Man, I'm sorry. That's tough. I apologize. So I would not advocate for breaking the law. I would advocate for finding workarounds. Could you sell an individual a whole live chicken and then you process it for them? You're not selling cut-ups. You're selling a whole bird, and then you're doing the processing for the individual that buys that bird. That's just, I've heard of folks doing that. That may be, again, I'm not advocating for you to break the law, but that may be a workaround in some instances. Were y'all going to let pigs have offspring the natural way? Seems like a lot of work trying to inseminate a big pig. It's not difficult at all to inseminate. And somebody asked a minute ago, why do we inseminate versus using a boar? I don't have a boar big enough or old enough to do the job right now. We do have 3 boarlings down in the training pen, but they're not big enough to be able to do what they need to do yet. They're not old enough. They're only what?
Jack
4
is.
months.
Jack's about. Let's see.
October.
Jack was born in September.
5 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have boars old enough to do the work. Insemination is not difficult at all. The difficult part is the timing, and just watching and finding that heat cycle and then mapping that thing out 21 days later, and then catching that gilt or that sow back in heat. Again, it's not difficult at all. Osborne Family Farms, electric netting versus 2 strands. Which works best for which use? Farrowing, growing hogs. I use single strand electric on everybody now. Used to use netting, got aggravated with netting because we've got some wooded areas, and that stuff catches on everything. It's difficult to work with. Single strand netting, you've got all kinds of options in terms of size, shape. I mean, it's just super easy to use. Even in farrowing, we'll use single strand electric, and then while those piglets are on those lactating sows, those piglets come in and out of the paddock as they want to, but they never wander far off from their mom. So, single strand electric. In my opinion, that's the way to go. Emerald Hills Farms. we have to bribe our pigs to cross where the electric wire used to be. They learn to remember very well. They sure do.
Yes, they do.
The more you move them, the more they will get used to moving, and they'll get used to, going over to that next paddock. They're not going to rush it, but
No, but they will get to the point where they're standing there waiting for you to open the door for them.
Yep. Bill Lancaster, get to be good friends with heavy wrecker owners down your way. A lot of times we get overturned food trucks, and when that happens, the food shipper usually disposes. That's true. We're aware of some of that kind of thing. So, had some questions and comments about us feeding our pigs the foodstuffs, and about the legality of that. So, my understanding is we can't feed them any meat products, and we don't feed them any meat products. If you do, you have to have a license. It has to be heated to a certain temperature for a certain length of time. We don't feed any meat products to any of our pigs, and we also don't feed any excess food to any of our feeder pigs. The only animals that are getting any of the soy nuggets or the peaches or the salsa or the carrots or anything like that those are our pigs. Those are breeder stock pigs. So those are not pigs that are going to be slaughtered for meat. And then once they reach the time that they're going to be, they'll come off of that stuff. And again, what we have available is very hit and miss on that excess stuff. Carl Parks just got back into raising pigs. I have a Berkshire. Love your channel. Y'all are great. Watch every day. Carl, appreciate you watching. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck on your pigs. That's awesome, man. Do you have any papered pigs? No, I don't have any papered pigs. These are just they're just farm pigs. I mean, now we buy some. I'm sure it's probably registered stock semen, but I'm not interested in registering those animals because for us, they're either going to go in the freezer or we may be selling some piglets later on, and we're interested in selling animals for consumption and for meat products. At what age will you begin to use Jack and Hamlet? Once they reach about 7 months old, they should be sexually mature at that point. And it's really not till about 7 months old. They're even tall enough or big enough to be able to.
And they still won't be big enough for the mamas. We actually plan on continuing to AI the mamas while they're here.
Yeah.
We will put our boars on our gilt sets, but the two original mamas, they'll continue to be AI'd, so we can keep some new genetics coming in.
Yeah. Travis Bumgarner, what kind of work do y'all do for a living outside of farming? So, do you work outside of farming?
I do, thank you very much.
2 months a year.
2 months?
Maybe 3.
4 months a year.
Yeah.
I work part-time for my mother, who is a CPA up in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. And we start in about the middle of December and we're done about the middle of April. But other than that, I'm a full-time farmer.
And I work full-time for the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. I work in the EMS office. I've been with them for 15 years now. I've been home-based since about, I guess, end of March. Since the end of March. And so our house, one room looks like command central with computers and screens and all that kind of stuff. And I've been able to continue the regular productivity from my regular job. It's I go in and do email and conference calls and phone calls and that kind of stuff. Run out for 15 minutes, take care of a chore, come back in and jump back on the computer and work. So it's worked out really good. It's given us a chance to kind of build our farm business, while also keeping up with regular work. We've been pretty involved in some of the COVID-19 response here in the state, so that's work has kept me busy as well as farming. So. Dylan, there are regulations and laws about raising swine on some land. Do you have issues with the county or neighbors raising pigs? Also, my last name is pronounced Kusich. Thank you. Sorry about that. So no, we're in Guilford County. We're out in the county. If we were in the city of Greensboro, this would be a definite no.
Yeah.
We have great neighbors on both sides of us. The neighbor to our left, we actually bought the farm from him. This is his original home place. Our neighbor to the right, neighbor Greg and neighbor Jennifer, they own, how much property they got? Over 60 acres, 70 acres. So they've done some farming in the past. So we've got great neighbors, and we don't have any issues with the pigs. David Outdoors, hello from upstate New York. How are market sales? We're not doing any markets right now. We are doing a delivery point doing 2 deliveries on Saturdays, and then another delivery every other Thursday. Yesterday was our first.
Yes.
We had a really good day.
Knocked it out of the park.
We're off to a good start for 2021. So we're excited to see how things go. Till and Family Farm, let me know if you start selling some piglets. We might make a trip. Make a trip anyway, man. Come up and see us. Hoping to maybe be able to sell some piglets late spring, early summer. We'll see how the farrowing goes on these gilts. But we'll just see. We're hoping for a good farrowing. Osborne Family Farms, what price would you sell piglets for? You know, I had a gentleman reach out and wanted to buy a piglet off of Big Mom, and he wanted to buy, and finally I said, man, I'm gonna make him I don't want to sell it price, and I made him a price, and he came and picked it up. So we're probably gonna be selling piglets for $125 a piece. Again, these are proven pasture genetics. These animals, their mothers have proven to do well on pasture. We can grow a market ready pig out to 325, 350 pounds in excuse me, in 6 months on our feeding regimen. Daggone. So we're going to be asking $125 a pig on piglets. AI versus boar, cost difference, convenience. Cost difference, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what a boar is going to cost me. I know what semen's going to cost me. I imagine it's probably going to be cheaper to keep a boar. And that, it would appear to me there's a threshold. If you're going to be inseminating or you need to impregnate 3 sows, that's probably cheaper to do AI. If you're going to be impregnating 15 or 20 sows twice a year, it's probably cheaper to keep a couple boars.
Yeah.
And then the convenience of having a boar, they know the timing much better than I do, and they're with those gilts or those sows 24/7. So they're there when they come into heat. I don't have to watch. I don't have to put it down on the counter. I don't have to order, all that kind of thing. So there's pros and cons on both sides of it. I think there's probably a point in numbers that it makes sense to have a boar versus doing AI.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit with those 7, trying to nail down when the first one was going to be ready. And we actually had one come in earlier. She came in about 4 days earlier than she was supposed to. And we just happened to have the semen available because we had one that we were expecting, you know, on a Tuesday, and that one came in early on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So we had it, but we were lucky.
Got lucky on that one. Yep. David Rivera, hello from Bella Luna Homestead in Leesburg. Hey, David, appreciate you joining us.
You need to get down. Get down.
David Outdoors 74, do you sell eggs? Yes, we sell eggs. Eggs was our top selling product last year. We sold, thank you, right in my mouth, buddy. How many dozen eggs did we sell last year? It was like 19,
Last year?
Yeah, like 1,900 dozen eggs.
It was a
it
bunch.
was a bunch of eggs. Yeah, we do sell eggs.
No,
Eggs is our number one
steady.
selling product. Terry Cook, great to see you live. Love watching your videos. Pigs are amazing. Love the hogs in the past and know what good pigs look like. Yours are fantastic. Thank you. Yep, we're pretty proud of our pigs. We think they've got a good look, good build, good structure. We're very pleased with them. John Smith, okay, Chuck, so now we know not only does Sandra do the chores on the farm, but she also does the books and taxes. So, do you just stand there with the camera and look pretty for YouTube? Yep, that's my job. That's what I do.
Oh.
Did you pay him to say that?
Yeah, no, I didn't have to.
Did you send him a super chat? Say, hey, John, dump on Chuck a little bit here. Johnny Boy, good evening. Hey, Johnny, appreciate you joining us. Always enjoy your comments on the videos. Thank you for jumping on tonight. Natasha, why do you not have your own boar for breeding purposes instead of purchasing sperm? I do have. I've got 2 boarlings. Again, they're just not old enough and big enough to do the work yet. Emerald Hills Farms, are your local processors booked for this year already? Yes, they are. We requested our 2021 dates in
August.
Of 2020. Starting in March, we've got slots for 3 pigs a month and a cow every other month. So yeah, they're booked. They're booked solid. Bill Lancaster, that's cheaper than I paid for my dogs and cats, and I can't eat them, and they eat better than I do. Yep, yep.
Well,
See,
this one.
you know, I feed stuff I can't eat. But anyway, Callie Mike, 5150 Nation is here. Love you guys' show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you joining us. Girls Walk with Goats. Glad to catch y'all live. Love the videos. I'm going to raise pigs starting next year. Always learning from your videos. Appreciate that. Hope that, you know, that's kind of what we want to do. We want to put content out there that is entertaining, but you also find some value in. People reach out to me all the time. Hey, can you tell me how to raise pigs? No, but I can tell you how not to. We've made plenty of mistakes in raising pigs, and I can tell you what not to do. I can share with you some of the things that we've discovered works for us, but you've got to try that on your place and see if it works for you. But again, we hope that what we're doing is valuable to you. Johnny Benoit, did the other girl Gilt come into heat? She acts like she's trying to.
She's getting there.
She's getting there.
She's getting real close.
David Outdoors, wow, 1900. Yeah, 1900 dozen. I'd have to look and see, but it was a bunch of eggs. It was like 1900, 2000 dozen eggs. We sold a bunch of eggs.
And we gave away a bunch.
Yeah, we gave away a whole
winter.
lot of eggs. We sure did. And fed a bunch of pigs last year, too.
Yep.
What's the latest part of the year you'll do meat birds and tractors? We've got 44 and a chickshaw that provides more protection from the wind. Been hesitant to use tractors until spring. Our rule of thumb,
And we broke it twice.
we broke it twice. We broke it this year. Our rule of thumb is to have no meat birds on pasture on this property past October the 1st. One of the things that we've discovered, once the daylight starts falling off pretty sharply, like it does late September, early October, those birds don't grow as well. They really seem to slow down. I don't know if it's something that's triggering in their pituitary or that is not triggering in their pituitary because of the lack of daylight, but we don't like to have meat birds on here after October the 1st. We typically get our first chicks around Valentine's Day. That's typical.
And they'll stay in the brooder about a month.
Yeah, they'll stay in the brooder
So
about a
they
month.
won't go out
Yeah.
on pasture until March. And then we'll keep a light on them in the tractors, usually, for another month.
And this year we may change that up a little bit depending on how much chicken we have left in the freezer from last season.
Yeah.
So if we've still got plenty of chicken, we may hold off on getting chicks a little bit later into the spring.
But we will be getting turkeys.
But we will be
Just
getting
as
turkeys.
soon as
Yeah.
we can.
We've had so much request and demand for ground turkey and turkey parts. We're going to get back on the turkey train early in the year next year.
We can't keep turkey wings or turkey legs or ground turkey.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
just sells out. Kenneth and Cindy from Judsonia, Arkansas. Hello from North Central Arkansas. Have you guys thought of getting meat goats? Appreciate you joining us. So we had a couple of goats. They figured out how to get out of the fence. I got frustrated with them.
We had just spent the whole winter getting tomato plants to grow from seed. And about the time we were ready to put them out in the garden, one of those goats learned how to get out of the fence. So I met one of those goats on the back driveway, about 10 yards from the garden, and he was heading that way. So I love those goats, but I told Chuck they had to go because, I couldn't spend my whole day watching the garden.
Yeah. If you're interested in meat goats, again, Seven Stands Farm, Jamie Miles over there, he's doing a bunch of meat goats. Go check their
But I've got to have me a baby goat.
baby goats, I
Yes,
swear.
I've got to have a baby goat.
At what age would you breed a gilt for the first time? About 7 months, 6 or 7 months. Once they reach typically about 75% of their full adult size, which for us ends up being about 7 months, we'll breed them then. And then you need to let them go through a couple of heat cycles so that you got your timing down. First couple of heat cycles, they're going to be sporadic. So give them a couple times. Again, about 7 months ends up working out about right. David Outdoors got to go. Watch your videos. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining us tonight. Taylor Farms in Kentucky. Where are we on getting cattle? So we're not raising cattle on our farm. That is something that we want to add. We've got some fencing to do, permanent perimeter fencing to do. Right now we contract with another farm about an hour and 15 minutes from here, some friends of ours that raise animals the exact way that we would. We trust their operation, so we buy cattle off of them to process for beef for retail sales. If you're just getting into farming, I've talked about this on another video, that is a great way to get started. Contract with a farm that's doing things the way you want to do them and see if they will allow you to market some of their product under your name, and partner with that farm to get some product and get your farm started. That's a good way to, dip your toe into the marketing water and see if it's going to work for you. Do you ever think you'll go to non-GMO feeds? In our limited investigation of that, non-GMO is just.
We don't have enough customers that are worried about feeding non-GMO to justify the cost.
Yeah, that's right.
If we had more customers that wanted non-GMO fed animals, then we would look into that. I have talked with one lady about raising her a batch of chickens on non-GMO feed. We would order 30 chicks. We would put them in a tractor. They would be, out on the pasture in their own little section. They would run in an area that no chickens have run before, and we would feed them non-GMO, and they would all be hers. But until we get more interest from our customers in non-GMO, it's just not really feasible.
Yeah. And, we get questions about organic and non-GMO and some of those, those types of things pretty regularly. And my ask back to the customer is, and I don't do this in a snarky way at all, but somebody comes up and says, are your eggs free range? Well, what does free range mean to you? So, and I think it's a testament to the power of advertising and a lot of the greenwashing that we see from the industrial ag and the industrial food system. People have been taught to look for labels, but they're not sure what that label means. So my question is, what are you looking for? Tell me what you're looking for. Let me describe to you how I raise my animals, how we raise our pigs, how we raise our chickens, how we produce our eggs, whatever the case may be, and then decide, does that align with your value system? Don't narrow it down to a label. Tell me how you want your food to be produced. Let me tell you how I produce food, and then let's see, are we somewhere close? Does that make sense? So that's kind of our point on. Are you on the screen? You should be on the screen.
Oh,
there you are.
Got the whole couch.
Okay, I didn't see you on the TV there.
It takes a second.
So,
it's about 10 seconds.
yeah.
Fine.
So anyway, that's our story on non-GMO.
Now, Buck loves him some
Yeah,
David.
Buck loves
I'll
him some
tell you.
David. Hello, what would be your best information for someone just starting? Start advertising early. Start advertising early. Get your story out there. Get folks interested in what you're doing, and market. You can't sell a thing if you don't have a customer. I'll get to it here in just a second. I'm seeing it down there. When will boar be ready for breeding? Can't wait for that video. Boars are about 7 months as well. Typically takes them about 7 months just to get tall enough to hit the target.
Get aligned.
Yeah, get the alignment going. Do you need to trim hooves on pigs?
No.
We don't. No. I wouldn't want to start trying.
Oh, no.
Would you start with chickens or pigs? Steve Mitchell.
That's,
So, real quick, without getting too deep in the story, when we started this deal, we were going all in on chicken. We were going to do pasture chicken. We were going to be the next Joel Salatin. Pasture chicken was our path forward. I listened to a podcast going to work, Darby Simpson, Diego Footer, The Grass Fed Life. They've got a YouTube channel, webpage.
they got it all.
Darby said, pound for pound, hour for hour, based on your labor input, pigs are much more profitable than chickens. I came home that afternoon, made the grand announcement, we're getting pigs.
Got on the computer that night
And
and
contracted.
ordered everything.
Yep, got the netting, contracted for some pigs, the whole deal. Best decision we ever made was pigs. I would recommend.
It was a rough start.
I'd recommend. It was a rough start, but I would recommend starting with pigs. What seems to be the best breed of egg layers for y'all? The Red Sex Link,
Americana.
Americanas are good.
Leghorns.
Leghorns are good.
Buff Orpingtons are great.
Buff Orpingtons are great chickens. We love those. If you're looking for production, the Red Sex Link, Golden Comets, those are 320, 330 egg per year birds. The more heritage breeds, they're going to have a lower production during the wintertime when the light's low. So just depends on what you want. If you're wanting production, go with a hybrid chicken. If you're wanting a hardier chicken, bigger chicken, then the
dual purpose
breed, yeah. Then you want the older ones, or the bigger birds. Are mosquitoes or deer flies a problem for the pigs? How do you get around that? We've not really had much problem with that.
No.
Biggest issue is those horse flies. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have had
Horseflies.
some of those big horse flies. Those suckers are
They're
kind of
massive.
they're huge. They're big as a
They can tap an artery.
yeah. They're big as a dime. I mean, those things are
They're
like
huge.
yeah, they're like a quarter with wings. Go check out Osborne Farms. We got 4 Berkshire hogs, 7 goats, 20 wild game chickens, 7 stands. I promise you will have a baby goat this spring.
I love you, Jamie.
Please don't do that. John Smith, how's the jerky working out as a product line? The jerky worked out great. We're out of jerky, sold out of jerky right now. Great value add. Again, I think I've talked about this before. I know Jordan Green's talked about it. The farther you can get a product to consumption, the more value you add to that product, the more profit you're going to make on it. The least profitable thing for us would be taking a pig to a auction and selling that pig on the hoof per pound. Somebody told me the other night they're 2 or 3 cents a pound.
Oh, man.
Versus jerky that I sell in 3-ounce packs for $9. That translates to about $45 a pound for pork. So jerky's a great line. Jerky does well. If you can get a jerky producer, somebody that can make that for you, then that's a good option there. Sawyer Pillsbury, can you touch on a few of the societal issues? Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Not exactly sure what you're asking about. Drop me another comment there and let me know exactly what you want me to talk about, and we'll certainly approach that a little bit.
He's coming down there.
Is he on down
Yeah,
here?
yeah. Well, he's right there. Yeah.
Show me.
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Mass social distancing, business being shut down, Constitution, etc. So we're considered an essential business, so we've been able to stay home.
We are actually exempt from all of the rules.
The curfew stuff.
The curfew.
Yep.
The limitations on travel and things like that. We're actually exempt from all that because we are a food provider.
Yeah. So we've been able to work through that. On masks, so I've been in healthcare for 28 years. I believe in being smart. So I think if you're sick, you're not feeling well, you're going to be around someone that's sick or not feeling well. I fully believe in protecting yourself. Absolutely believe in protecting yourself. At the same time, it does seem that there's been some overreach in some areas. I've talked to some folks that have said that they've seen changes in the sociability of some of their kids. It seems like some of their kids have kind of lost interest in being engaged. There's been quite a bit of depression. Mental illness, I think, is probably magnified through some of what we've seen in terms of shutdowns and lack of ability to travel and engage with folks and that kind of thing. So I'm hoping for better times. We've been very lucky in that, you know, we don't see a whole lot of that kind of thing because we're here on the farm all the time and we really don't go anywhere or get out. We go get feed and we go to markets and that's about it, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of different schools of thought, a lot of different, a lot of different opinions on that. I certainly don't want to try to superimpose my opinion on anybody else. I respect other folks' ability to have an opinion and speak their mind. So that's just kind of where I stand on it. Tillman Family Farms, cows are expensive. We've fenced 35 acres in sections and we'll be putting in a working pen soon. A lot of money. If I had it to do over, you'd be doing it the way we are. Thank you. Appreciate that. JP Loans and More. Hey, JP.
Hey, JP.
JP, good friend of ours, customer of ours. Got a YouTube channel. He does a lot of gold prospecting. So super nice guy. He and his wife Kate are fantastic people. I think Kate started a YouTube channel.
I think she has.
I think she's getting into a little bit of gold prospect. So go over and check out JP Lawns and More. JP's a super nice guy.
What's the name of Kate's channel?
Yeah, JP dropped me, Mrs. JP. Yeah, Kate dropped me the name of your channel right there. We'll give you a shout out here in a second. Tom Ellington got me started on listening to Darby. Darby's a smart guy.
Darby's good.
I respect Darby. And Diego and what those guys do. I think they're smart. Darby, I think he was an engineer and left his corporate job to farm full time. David Rivera, learning a lot from your videos. Look forward to starting my own pasture pigs and do business with you guys. Many blessings this year. Thank you. Appreciate that. JP, sorry we're late. Hey, brother, better late than never. Mrs. JP, hey, y'all. Hey, Kate, appreciate you joining us. Still glad we have the freezer. Yes, very glad we have the freezer.
It's full.
The freezer is full.
The freezer is full.
What did we say earlier? We talked about that. 200 chickens?
There's about 200 chickens, about 12 and a half pigs, and a half a cow in there right now, and we're getting ready to add another cow.
Oh, sheep.
Sheep, yeah, there's some lamb in there.
And there's about 6 or 7 lambs in there right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that freezer.
Yeah, that freezer's been awesome. So, for those of you that may not have seen David, David's been on some of our videos. David, again, he lives with us, and he trades rent for work. Works out pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty good.
So, David's got a full-time gig. He's a manager for Papa John's. So we get a free pizza every once in a while.
Yeah, every now and then.
The Papa D's.
I know some people.
But David's been a godsend to us, and we're just tickled to death to have him. He's been, again, he's given us an opportunity to be able to get out and do some things. We went and bought that one piglet up in Virginia, and you covered chores and all that kind of thing for us. So
He helps me out a lot when there's something I just can't, I'm not strong enough to do, or my hands can't handle it. And I call David, and he's right there to help.
Yep. And David's very creative and is a much better carpenter than I am. I suck at carpentry. I suck at electrical work. I suck at plumbing.
And you ain't much of a pig farmer.
It ain't much of a pig farmer.
YouTube, and,
YouTube, yeah.
The prepping plumber. Hey, I bet you're a good plumber. If you're close to Greensboro, send me your name and number. Favorite quote from a local farmer: the most radical thing you can do is grow your own food and leave the system. Absolutely. Absolutely,
That's
it sure
awesome.
is. Yep.
So you asked me today yesterday how long it had been since we bought any meat.
Yeah.
So it's It was May or June of 2018. It was the last time I bought chicken at the store. It was June or July of 18 the last time I bought pork. And then it was April of...
You did that test cook though. That was packed.
We
pork
did,
right
yeah,
there.
we
Y'all
bought
ruined
that.
it.
Mercy.
Y'all ruined
I don't
it.
even want to talk about that.
We did, well, we didn't buy those to eat. That was more of a experiment.
Yeah. And then it was April of 2020, the last time I bought beef.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And my family, our family and friends have not had to buy a Thanksgiving turkey
Yeah.
in about 3 years.
Yeah. We provided Thanksgiving turkey and a lot of Christmas meals.
A lot
too.
of Christmas
Yeah.
hams.
Natasha, cooney in your future, heard they don't root as deep. Nope, not going to do cooney.
No. They don't have the mass that we need.
Yep. And I think they're slower growing too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Corey Green, what is Darby's channel? The Grass Fed Life. Do a Google search on the Grass Fed Life. They have a web page, a podcast. I don't know that they have a YouTube. I think they may do have a YouTube channel.
I know Diego
Yeah.
does.
Also look up Diego Footer. He's got a YouTube channel and he does some good stuff. Saw your Pillsbury content calling out Facebook led me to believe your ability to see through the bull was astute to say that. Yeah, Facebook, for those of you that don't know that story, didn't hear that, we tried to post some ads on Facebook Marketplace selling some farm-raised products. And I didn't even say cow, pig, chicken, because they're all about not selling animals. And I get that, trying to keep puppy mills and that kind of crap tamped down. Didn't even use those words, but I think I did post a picture of like a pork roast or something in there. I forget what it was. They took it down, but I posted an almost identical ad using the words pork, chicken, and beef with even more pictures of cuts of meat, and I paid for that and didn't have any trouble there. So, common streetwalker. Noah Bailey, hey Noah, appreciate you joining us. Shadow Bee Farms, have you covered this already? Will you all let folks come to tour the farm? We will. We just ask that you call and make an appointment so that, we're here, we're not out in the field doing something. But yeah, we do farm tours here. Thinking about maybe doing a bit of a formalized farm tour in the spring, where we take a group out and we do kind of a group tour. Probably have to do a little bit of an admission charge for that because just of space availability. But yeah, we're thinking about doing some scheduled farm tours later in the year. Natasha, you went to help out the mama pig eating the piglets. How would one know that happened or how to avoid it? Can you offer a high protein supplement prior to birthing day? So yeah, that my understanding is that typically happens in sows that are protein deficient. Just make sure you're feeding a good protein level, 16-20% protein on those sows, and you should be fine. Just watch them. First time moms, try to be there. No need to help unless they need it, but just try to be there during that first farrowing so that you can kind of observe that mama and be available if need be. Tom Ellington from Tater Road, Berkshire's Darby's Channel, Grass Fed Life. Yep, exactly. Tillman Family Farms. Chris, appreciate you joining us again. If you've not checked out Tillman Family Farms on YouTube, go over and check those guys out. Do a lot of the similar stuff, same stuff like what we do here.
I am some pretty puppies.
He did? Yeah, Chris just had some beautiful blue heeler puppies. They were gorgeous, so go check those guys out. How many times is it safe to breed the same female? I'm guessing you're asking on pigs. So, rule of thumb, once a sow will no longer wean off 8 piglets, then it's probably time to go from a production standpoint. As long as they're healthy and having piglets, we'll keep breeding them. But once they get to the point that they can't wean off, they can't give birth and then wean 8 piglets off, then it's time. It's going to be time to go. Mrs. JP will be getting with y'all shortly to help make a little space in that freezer.
Awesome.
Come see us. We're glad to help you out. If you haven't done a video, Girls Walking with Goats, if you haven't done a video already, I'd be interested in what made you decide on your pig breeds, and do you have a second or third choice for breeds? Have not done a video, could do that, be glad to do that. And we'll talk about a little bit of the history of our pigs and how we got the pigs that we have, and then what has driven us to the breeds that we're using. Do I have a second or third choice? I don't know. we're going to add a little Hampshire. We're thinking about adding a little Hereford to the group.
Yeah, would be interested in finding a full-blooded Berkshire boar. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Full-blooded Berkshire boar. Yeah, that would be interesting to throw one in there and see what happens. Natasha asked, what happens if mama pig dies? We've bottle fed some piglets.
Yeah, you bring them up to the house.
Bring them up to the house.
They live in a cattle drinker in the office for a couple of weeks.
They asked about the pigs that were trying to eat them. That's what they're doing right now. They're bottle feeding.
They're
What is
bottle
it, 8?
feeding.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They're bottle feeding 8 in their living room in a cattle drinker right now.
Yeah.
3 times a day.
Corey Green, Found Diego, awesome. Again, I think those guys do a good job. Sawyer Pillsbury, hatch and egg sales profitable with shipping costs on a small scale or no? I don't know. I've not gotten into that. Probably for some more exotic kinds of birds, quail, geese, maybe some ducks, peacocks. Yeah, that might be profitable. For just a, I'll just tell you, for just an old barnyard chicken, what we've got, if somebody comes here and wants to buy a dozen eggs for hatching, we'll usually sell them a dozen eggs if they're going to hatch them for a discounted rate, because to help people get started with them. And then they're going to be unsexed, so you may get half roosters and half hens, and
He's
bless
loving
him.
life.
Typically folks don't want the roosters anyway. So again, that may be profitable. Don't know. Natasha, is the placenta previa a problem at times? Should you ultrasound every mama just to be certain, or just wing it? I'm not that familiar with placenta previa in pigs. For those who may not know what that is, sometimes the placenta, which provides the blood and nutrients to the developing piglets in the uterus, will form or will attach close to or over the opening of the cervix at the end of the uterus. If that placenta breaks loose prior to the piglets being born, then the mother can bleed to death. The piglets will die. I'm not that familiar with placenta previa in pigs. We've never had an issue with it. We don't ultrasound. I just don't have the machine, and I don't want to pay a vet to do it. So, if that's something you're concerned about, perhaps it's something that you'd want to talk to your vet about, and maybe have them come out and check your pigs.
Hot dogs.
Did you ever decide on doing hot dogs? I want to do hot dogs, but the problem is our processor is not doing hot dogs.
Yeah, our processor is so busy with animals that they have discontinued hot dogs and bologna.
Yeah.
As soon as they start back, we will try. hot dogs.
Yep, we sure will. When do you castrate the little man? Shouldn't want to wait to see how well the litter grows to determine who's best to select as a boar. That's the problem with boars. You've got about 8 weeks to decide who you want to keep. On a gilt, you can decide up till it's breeding time for her. On boars, once they reach a certain age, they become difficult to impossible to castrate. We've castrated at 12 weeks. Was it 12?
Phew, Lord.
And that was traumatic for the pigs and for the people involved. If you let that boar keep his equipment, you can get some boar taint. Again, for us, where we're selling retail cuts, it's not worth it to us to take that chance. So we do try to make as good a selection as we can on those boarlings, and not cut the ones that we want to keep.
And then, with the AI that we do, we get our semen from Shipley swine, and all of those boars are from
Proven.
award-winning lines. So we have some really, really nice-looking boars,
Yeah,
piglets.
yeah, we sure do. With 14 and 16
That one
teats.
you sold, oh my gosh. That,
Oh,
he
that
was a-
boar-
he was a monster.
He was great. I mean,
He was 8 weeks old, and he was every bit of 75
when he
pounds.
was 4 weeks old, we picked him out and said that
Oh,
one
yeah.
right there.
That
is
one,
gonna look-
he's gonna be
he's
there.
gonna be good.
Good flat top line, wide in the front, big hams, muscular, I mean, just he was
a tank.
he was a tank. I mean, he looked like he could.
He was twice the size of everybody else a couple
Yeah.
weeks in.
He was a
And
big boy.
He was nice squared out.
He looked like he could root his way through a concrete sidewalk. I mean, that's what that pig looked like. He was just freaking awesome. Advice for urban farmers: pressure from the city pushing them out. How do you move to rural land? You know, if I don't believe in staying around somewhere where you're not welcome. If they don't want you, find you some rural land and move to it. Search out abandoned farms or farms that are owned by absentee landowners. If you find a good 20-acre plot of land in a rural part of your county, go to the tax records and look and see what the address of the owner is. If you've got a parcel of land and the address of the owner is in another part of the state or another state at all, reach out to those folks and see if they'd be interested in leasing land. Lots of folks are looking for good caretakers of family property that somebody will go in and will do something productive with it. It also helps them. It'll help some keep that land in a agricultural classification, and they may get a reduction on their property taxes. So search out.
You don't have to buy and own the land.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan Green, Joel Salatin, all those guys advocate leasing.
Yeah.
And
Greg Judy.
Greg Judy, it's a great way to get started.
He says your goal should not be to own the land, but to control it, and you can do that through leasing. So yeah, look for some potential lease opportunities there. Was Helen processed, or will you try to breed her again? Helen was processed. She's in the freezer. Our assessment and the assessment of the vet, and then being down there pulling piglets at midnight, we determined that wasn't good for her or us. Corey Green, do you cut or band when you castrate? The way pigs, the way their anatomy is, you can't band them. They don't have a protruding scrotum like a sheep or a goat or a cow does, so you have to cut. So we cut. Shadow Bee Farms, I follow y'all for the animal side, but what do y'all do on the veggie side? How do you follow and learn from doing it? We don't do veggies specifically. We have sold some excess vegetables in the past, but we don't grow vegetables to sell.
We don't grow vegetables to sell, but I would love to have more time to do more vegetables. And I watch a guy out of Raleigh. His name is Josh Satin.
Satin Hill Farms.
Satin Hill Farms. He's great to watch for gardening. And also, what's that fellow over in England?
Charles Dowdy.
Charles Dowdy. He's a wonderful man to watch on YouTube.
Very proper.
He
uses compost.
Yes, he does. He'll teach you how to use compost to grow your garden, and it's awesome.
Neil Lauderman, thank you and your family for all the knowledgeable videos as an IPP breeder in Fredericksburg. I love seeing how you do things. Thank you. Appreciate that. JP, Helen is bacon. Yes, Helen is. We probably had some of Helen yesterday morning. She was delicious.
Don't talk about Helen like that.
Yeah. Natasha, does YouTube allow you to educate on castration? Would you make a clip for? So yes, I've done a couple of videos on castration. We done one back in the summer where we castrated a whole group of piglets. So that video is out there, but we can certainly do another one. Have you ever made paintbrushes with the hairs of the pigs? Have not. Didn't know that was a thing. Do pigs and sows do better in groups like cattle? Yes. Pigs are herd animals. I would never keep a single pig. At minimum 2, 3 is better. They're very social animals. They do much better in groups. How difficult was it to learn to castrate piglets? Not difficult at all. It's a very simple process.
You also both come from medical backgrounds.
Yeah,
it's
well-
a little rough first time.
Yeah,
You know,
David just had his first time.
yeah. David had his.
Couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
he didn't stay in the game
yeah.
for very long.
Watching's not the best, you know.
But no, it's not difficult. Need a good sharp. I've learned a utility knife works best. Good sharp utility knife. If you'll notice on the scrotum of the piglet, when you flip it over on its back and push its legs down, there is a it looks like a seam down the center of the scrotum. If you'll just take a good sharp utility knife, make a small laceration on both sides of that seam, a little bit of pressure, those testicles will pop right out. Just pull them, spray them with a little antiseptic like some Blue Coat or some Piney or something like that, and they're fine. I mean, it's a simple 30-second process. The most difficult castration of piglets is the first one you'll ever do.
Yeah, and make sure it's not 12 weeks old.
Yeah. I mean, the last batch went great. I mean, and I was really surprised about watching them heal up. I mean, nobody has any problems down there. Everybody looks really good.
Yeah.
And it's been about a week.
It's been over. I want to say it's been over a week. Ain't it?
Yeah.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Almost.
We did
It'll be
it,
2 weeks early next week.
Christmas Eve. We
It was
done
Christmas Eve, yeah,
when we done
yeah.
that.
So,
So I want to toss an idea out there, and leave me a comment down below or in another video, wherever, if you'd be interested. I've thought about doing some specific Zoom calls with a small group of folks to maybe dive a little bit deeper into some pig production, pig rearing, and that kind of thing. If you'd be interested in that, leave me a comment down below or send me an email, chuck@sheratonparkfarms.com, to let me know that you'd be interested in that. It would be a small group. We would limit it to about 10 folks. We would set aside maybe an hour and a half to do that. We would probably charge just a little bit of an admission fee on doing that, just to keep it, if folks got a little bit of skin in the game, we could have some better conversation. If you're interested in that, leave me a comment down below or in another video, or send me an email to let me know you'd be interested in that, and we can certainly work on putting something like that together.
I just want to call out. Hold on.
Who you calling out?
Corey Green. Yeah, it was a great Christmas Eve. We castrated pigs. We weaned them off the moms.
It was a big day.
It was a big day. It was quick too. It was great.
There was gifts for everybody involved
everybody.
there. Yeah.
And it was raining.
Terry Cook, I use a scalpel from Vet Supply. They're sharp, shaped well, they heal fast. They do. Yep. We were using a number 10 blade, and then the Cobalt utility knife with a brand new blade from Lowe's worked great. We tried that the other day.
Yeah, the number 10 blades, after about 2,
They seem to dull kind
they
of quick.
seem to dull really quick.
Seem like it's a little softer steel or something.
Yeah, but now those utility blades, man, they're the business.
Evil Genius, really enjoy your videos. Thank you, appreciate that. Natasha, what do you do with the stillbirth babies? But it's a haunting question and experience. My condolences. Frankly, we put them in the compost pile. Put them in a compost pile, plenty of wood chips. They will break down over enough time, and then we're able to utilize that animal for a different purpose, in growing vegetables, feeding our soil. But we will compost those stillborn animals. Steve Bunn, what did you do in the medical field?
Well, I'm a trained paramedic and also X-ray technologist. I'm certified to do MRI.
And I've been a paramedic for 28 years this year, and a nurse for 21. So we've done a little. That's given us an opportunity to see and do a lot of different things. Miguel, yes, interested in the Zoom call. Shadow Bee Farms, yep, cool on the Zoom idea. John Smith would be interested in the Zoom. Neil, cool idea. Natasha, you should absolutely make some cash, my friend. Even get yourself a Patreon account. Everybody needs cash. Appreciate that. So I have said, and I've not talked about it, I've not pushed it or said anything about it, but I do have an account with Buy Me a Coffee. And I will, that link is in the description of the last couple of videos. So, I don't believe in begging for money. We love giving away this content for free, sharing with folks, educating folks. But, if you do want to support us, want to support the channel, we would certainly appreciate that. If you want to do that, so Buy Me a Coffee. It's a kind of the same as Patreon, but a little bit different at the same time. Chris of Brian Jones, Chris of Homesteading, the Hardway's a great pig guy. He's in North Carolina. Yeah, he's down in the eastern part of the state. I've watched some of his stuff. Smart guy. Richard would be interested in a Zoom call, hesitant to get started in pigs until due to getting them processed. I'm assuming they have to wait till 2022 to get started. Go ahead and reach out to, there's a processor up in, is it Walnut Cove or Wahlberg? Somewhere over in, well, not Wahlberg, Walnut Cove. Somewhere up in your area. I'm not sure the name of it right off. Go ahead and reach out and find out what availability is and see if you can get on a date. See if you can get a date. If you can get you a date, reverse engineer that thing back to where you've got some piglets that'll be ready. You buy some piglets and have them ready on that date. So that's a...
Or at least get on a waiting list. Surely they've got some waiting lists available.
Yeah, yeah,
And if they're anything like our processor, they really try
yeah,
to get those folks accommodated.
yep. Todd, good idea. Appreciate that. Bill Lancaster, thank you for informing us. Cindy Slickers, I'm not so much, but I do not care to kill my food. And thank you for those of you that do feed us all. We love doing it. Nothing any more satisfying to us than at the end of the day on those market days, we look at our market report and we had 50 or 60 transactions, and we know over the course of the next week or 2 weeks, we're going to help feed that number of families, and those people trust us to help feed their children. So that's a big payoff for us. Good night from Baltimore. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you joining us. Hillbilly Talker, love to get in on a Zoom call. Get you a PayPal tip jar. It's cheaper. I'm not aware of that, but may give that a try. Corey Green, do you process your own meat for personal consumption, or you always use a processing plant? We process our own poultry for our own consumption. Everything else, yes, we do get processed at the USDA.
We've done a couple of smaller pigs here on the farm, but it's a lot easier to load them on the trailer and take them to Gibsonville.
It sure is. Baruna T100, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Thank you for pitching that our way. Says, thank you for the videos. They've helped my family get us started on our farm. Our Hereford piglets will be here in May. What can you share with us on your feed build? Good luck on the pigs. You're going to love pigs. Those Herefords, those are good pigs. Hamlet, our little boarling, he's a full-blooded Hereford, so we're excited about that. What can you share with us on your feed build? Are you talking about how we feed or how much it costs us to feed?
What about feed mix?
Yeah,
That's
the
what I was
mixture.
thinking.
Feed mix. Yeah, so the mix. So per ton, it is 1,200 pounds of corn, 400 pounds of soy, 400 pounds of wheat or oats, and then 50 pounds of a hog mineral that our feed mill gets from Bartlett Milling. Also, oh gosh, what is the name of those guys? There's another company that does some mineral stuff. The name escapes me right off. Daggone. But that's our mix. It's primarily corn, soy, and then oats or wheat, depending on what Eric has at the time. And it works great. Again, we're raising market-ready piglets out to 325, 350 pounds.
16%.
Yeah, it's a 16% protein, and they're ready at 6 months, so it works out great. Again, thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. Richard Benfield will check into it. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Do hawks, eagles, owls, or other flying beasts abduct piglets? Have not had any predation issues on our piglets. Chickens are a much different story. We've had a coyote get into some lambs. That didn't end well, but have not had any predation issues whatsoever.
I think a big difference too is the piglets stay more in the wooded areas.
They do.
We run them with a lot of trees.
Yep, they're in a more wooded area, and then whenever they're small, the mamas are super protective, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very
Yeah.
protective.
For
They'll run you down.
Yep, they will run you down. Burnu T100. Hope I answered your question. If you got something else, just drop it on me. Sawyer Pillsbury, children on the farm, raising kids the right way, or is it detrimental to teach the? I think that kids should be raised on the farm. I think there's a lot of life lessons that you can learn from raising kids on the farm. Learning responsibility, chores, learning that if you let a tomato plant die, or if you let a pig die, or you let a chicken die, you can't hit reset and get another one back instantly. There are consequences to those actions. So yes, I think raising kids on a farm is absolutely the right way to go about doing that. Jeff Minich, thanks for the videos. Interested in the Zoom call? Awesome, appreciate that. We'll work on getting something like that together for folks. Lloyd Bartholomew, hey guys, just picked up 122 acres in Chatham, North Carolina.
Wow.
Chatham County. How
Chatham
did you
County.
buy 122 acres in Chatham County? Lloyd got some, probably had to put some money on the table for that deal. Going to
awesome.
get started, don't know where to begin, but hey, Lloyd, if you're that close, send me an email. Let's have a chat. Chuck at SheratonParkFarms.com. If you're over in Chatham, North Carolina, be glad to talk with you. Also, we've got a friend in Siler City that probably would be able to help you out a little bit as well. Natasha, my husband, asked me the other night, wonder why we never hear of pigs being milked. Who knows? So, I guess you can milk a pig.
I wouldn't want to.
I wouldn't want to milk one for very long, so I think she'd get kind of agitated at you. But anyway, and then Lloyd says, would love to. Yeah, give us a shout. Be glad to talk with you a little bit. What kind of plucker do you use for turkeys? We use that Featherman, that same thing we use for chickens. The only deal is
Do one bird at a time.
one
pretty
bird
much.
at a time and take the heads off
Take the
And the
head and the
feet.
feet.
and the feet off. Yeah, that's the way to do that. So, all right.
And you really gotta, the most important thing when processing turkey is scald time.
Yeah,
Scald temperature and scald time, because the first thing that'll happen if you over scald it is the skin will break. Turkey skin is a whole lot more sensitive than chicken skin.
yeah.
And you'll peel the skin off of a turkey breast before you know it, and
Yeah.
then it's no good for Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, Corey, maybe David would do better milking them than castrating.
Probably, probably.
on the-
I mean, well, when we had Helen down there trying to do it, I practiced a little bit on her,
Yeah.
trying to see how it came out. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
And it
I-
wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard. It's just I don't think they would lay still for you and let you do it. Like
Yeah.
you know, there's not. Is there a what is the thing they put the cow in that they, you know, kind of keeps
Yeah,
them
like
from
a
moving?
like a milking
the
stanchion
chute.
kind of thing.
Yeah. So I
a
mean,
pig ain't gonna do
Ain't gonna do
that.
Yeah. So
I think she's pulling y'all's chain.
I think
a
she's
little
pulling
bit.
our chain a little bit there. Yeah, I think so. So guys, we're at about an hour and a half. We're gonna cut it off. I smell supper.
Oh, it's been ready.
It's been ready, so I think we're going to cut it off. Again, we're going to one of the videos before I talked about setting some goals for this year. One of the goals that I said is to do 2 of these per month. So we'll probably do them on Sunday night. That seems to work out pretty good. So be on the lookout for another live stream here in a couple weeks. Again, if you're interested in doing a Zoom call, send me an email. I've got a couple of folks on here. We'll mention that in another video. Send me an email, Chuck at SheratonParkFarms.com, and we'll work on getting that lined up. Real quick, a couple things. Natasha, I mean, goat cheese tastes okayish. Why not pigs? Pig cheese.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I think I probably would too. Sean, see the subscribers are growing. Must be doing something right. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're up to 7,350 some. I think earlier was what I saw. So share these videos with your friends. Get your mama and them to subscribe. We appreciate all the folks that are watching. Corey, appreciate you joining us. Richard, again, thank you. Terry's interested in the Zoom call. Guys, can't thank y'all enough. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on another video. Thanks.